speakers there, one of whom was Dr. Dan Morgan, and his title was "The Only Thing You Cannot Have." And I was there clearly wanting to support Dan, and Dan was a poetic man, very wonderful with words, and had a deep, abiding connection to the divine. And the words flowed through him in such poetry; it was amazing. And so he was talking and talking and talking, and had been doing the talk, and I knew he only had 20 minutes, and he never had said, "What's the only thing you do not have?" And I was beginning just to be concerned for my friend that he's going to not make any sense. Well, you'll follow the story and where that takes us to, and we'll get there. But now let me back up a little bit. So I was asked to talk about timeless truth and things that I'm passionate about. And the thing that I am most passionate about is that the understanding that comes to us as we enter the teaching and as we begin to practice. Ernest Holmes, the great metaphysician from the last century, he said the actual people who practice this, it's very simple. Daily we meditate, and daily we do spiritual mind treatment, which, as we know, is affirmative prayer. And of course, that daily work builds our subjective belief, the belief not what we call in the subconscious mind, because we have thoughts that pass through our conscious mind, but it's done unto us as we believe, what we're believing at the subjective level. It's not even done unto you as you think you believe. It's done unto you as you actually believe. Our experience emerges from our consciousness. The great teacher, Johnny Coleman, another great African-American leader who built the largest science and mind church that was ever built in Chicago, whole city block with buildings and everything. Marvelous teacher and a powerful woman. And she used to say that the best way to think about the term consciousness is awareness. What is it that you're aware of? Well, the way that I define consciousness is the sum total of everything you've ever thought, said, done, or felt. That you and I are creating by means of what's happening in our inner awareness, thinking, saying, feeling. This is creating a vibration that comes from us. That vibration is part of what is connected to all of life and what's known as the law of the circle, sometimes called the law of mind. The ancient Hindus called it the law of karma. What we know is that there is a direct connection between us and life, that energy in brings energy out, that what I think about tends to come about, where my attention goes, my energy flows. So what's happening through us is always an inner act. So now I don't want to get too technical here, because what we're wanting to say is that there's one power. That power is the perfect life of God. It's the only life there is. It's the only intelligence there is. And therefore that life, that intelligence is in me, through me, as me. I am what that is, and that is what I am. I am that, yes? So when we begin to daily meditate on this direct connection and our understanding that everything that's flowing through me is going to return back to me as my experience, we're beginning to see that consciousness, this inner reality, my thinking, saying, doing, and feeling, is creating a vibration which is returning back to me as my experience. Now, when we say this is a universal law, this is a universal law. This happens to all people, whether they are aware of it or not, whether their consciousness knows about it or not. Everyone, we're not just being bounced around by random circumstance. We are creating our experience. That's why even in right now, in this time of the pandemic, what we know is, and what we need to affirm on a daily basis is, I'm radiant, vibrant, dynamic health. I'm guided, guarded, protected, and directed. I'm led into the paths of perfect right action. We begin to create this habit of mind. The more we begin to be affirmative, the more we begin to recognize and affirm that I am one with the one, the more we begin to work from consciousness, because consciousness is creating our experience. What I am aware of and what I am doing with my thinking, feeling, and saying is creating my experience. And it literally comes back into the way my health, my wealth, my love, and my fulfillment and purpose. I choose to comfortably live my life and fulfill my purpose. You might want to remind yourself of that. We could all say that to ourselves right now. I choose to comfortably live my life and fulfill my purpose. And every human being has a right to comfortably live their life and fulfill their purpose. And health and wealth and success are normal. And fulfilling our purpose is normal. But it doesn't come from out in the world, it comes from within the consciousness that the divine and I are creating together on a daily and regular and moment to moment basis. Now, here's the other fun thing before I run out of time. Here's the other fun thing. In today's modern world, we know quantum science is accurate, that all things begin in vibration. Vibration begins as waves. Waves forms particles, which we call electrons. Electrons form atoms, and atoms forms molecules, and that creates, right? That's the physical reality. So the short term of that is that the observer affects the experiment. Now, if your life is being built from your consciousness, and it is, then what you're observing in your life is guiding you in what your intentions are becoming. So here we are in the beginning of a new year. We're in a time of transformation, not only in our personal lives, but on a global scale. This idea of separateness and my good is separate from your good and apart from your good is falling away. We're beginning to understand that all things are interrelated and interconnected, and we're beginning to work to raise our own vibrations so that the law of the circle, the law of mind, returns in our experience health, wealth, and success, and perfect love. Yes? That these things are divine intentions already given to us, already the possibility is within every soul, universal laws, and everyone can use those laws by so here's William James, the great American psychologist. He's quoted, he says, the greatest discovery of this or any generation is that human beings can change their experience by altering their attitude of mind. Human beings can change their experience by altering their attitude of mind. Now, if we understand then that my life experience is coming from the consciousness that I'm creating, the awareness that's moving through me, and I daily am affirming I am radiant health, I am guided, guarded, protected, directed. I am that I am. I am the glory of the Most High. I am the revelation of the one expressing as me. Whoa. And the more we do this internal work of up, I could say going upstairs in our consciousness, relying on this I am consciousness that is equally distributed and given to everybody, the power to reveal the glory of the Most High as your life exists for everybody. Wow. And yet we see a world that's not aware of it. That's why your community here at Ahava is so important in the world, because people of like mind gathering together, raising their vibrations, supporting each other in the fulfillment of their dreams. This is bringing a greater good. Now, here's the fun thing. Once we become aware of this and we realize that everything that's happening to me is happening through me, I can begin to look at the outward experience of my life. Remember, the science is the observer affects the experience. So if I can look at the outward appearance of my life and see, is it matching my intention? Is it matching my intention, this outward appearance? And if it doesn't, we all feel it. You know, when something doesn't feel right, when something goes against the grain, where we all of a sudden feel a stress that we didn't have. These are our experience feeding something back to us about whether we are walking in tune with our own intentions to bring more light, to bring more love, to bring more joy, to be in the presence of peace and freedom and wholeness and mutual love and respect. These things come to us because they are coming through us. And when we can look at our outer experience and see that something within us is not matching our intention, then we can adjust accordingly. And we can, so I'll give you an example. We saw in this week, we saw a lot of bad behavior in the world. And that behavior came out as violence. Well, I made a commitment through my study of Mahatma Gandhi and through Arun Gandhi and the New Thought movement, which we're all part of, the New Thought movement. I made a commitment some 20 years ago to be nonviolent. I do pretty good at that. I don't think I've been physical with anybody since I made that commitment, but sometimes words can be violent and tempers can be violent. So when one makes a commitment to be nonviolent, one makes a commitment to walk in peace. And so when these images appear of rage and separateness and violence acting out into the world, it always grates. I can feel the stress that it creates, the discomfort that it creates in my own being. But again, the observer affects the experiment. So if I'm observing in my experience something that is unlike my own intention, then I come back to it and I then affirm, I choose to be peace. I choose to be nonviolent. I know nonviolence and peace are the way to solve human challenges. I know peace is at the center of all things. And that personal affirmation calms me down, allows me to become more centered in my own intentions. And I observe the thing that is wrong, and then I adjust on the inside. Now, each one of us has the capacity to do that, to observe what's making us uncomfortable in life and check in with ourselves and see, is it matching our intentions? Is that what we mean to be doing? And as we adjust those intentions and even affirm them. So these events of the world affirm for me that I believe in the United States of America. I believe in life and liberty and equal justice for all. I believe in the equality of all souls. I believe that everyone has a right to pursue happiness. I believe in the divine ideas that are at the center of this nation. And I also know it's my personal responsibility to embody those ideas and to be the place in the world where those ideas are shining as light. And this is your opportunity and my opportunity to be the place where love and light and truth and wisdom and freedom and our own intentions around our success and our own intentions around fulfillment and our own intentions around love can be made manifest. But it starts by working on my own consciousness, everything I say, think, do, and feel, and then becoming aware that I have intentions and they are either being made manifest on a daily basis. I see signs and wonders, or I don't see signs and wonders. And we need to make the adjustment on the inside because the power to define yourself, to align yourself with the one is in you. Now, when that begins to happen, the more we begin to train our mind to, I sleep in peace, I awake in joy, I live in the consciousness of the all good, right? I'm alive, awake, aware, and enthusiastic about living. The more we run these positive affirmations through our consciousness, the more they come in to our experience, the more they come in to our body, the more they come in to all that's happening in our lives, because the law of the circle happens to everybody. What I think about comes about. Where my attention goes, my energy flows, right? This is true for all people, all religions, all points of view. All people are given the same gift. God is the great equal. That is the great equal, and it belongs to everybody. And so we can be in the race without participating in the ignorance of the race. We can be compassionate in supporting the changes that we want the light in the world to shine forth by being that light, yeah? And then it not only is in our mind, it comes into our body, it literally becomes the cells of our being. And when truth principle begins to walk in you and as you and through you, the word for that is embodiment. It's in me and as me and through me. My mind, my heart, my desire is only here to bring forth the glory of the Most High as me. And that's the truth for each of us and all of us. And so when Dr. Dan said, the only thing you cannot have, he finally said the words. He said, the only thing you cannot have is that which you cannot embody. So we can't just say the truth. We have to bring the truth into our mentality so that it passes from our mentality, perfect spirit, perfect mind, and into our body and into the very cells of our being. So the very heart that is pumping the blood is pumping the joy of life in every moment. And then we can be a beneficial presence in the world, and we can help make our contribution to bring forth a world that works for everyone. You have found these teachings. The step one, God is all there is. Step two, identifying and unifying yourself with God. This is the beginning of complete and total transformation, and the beginning of each one of us waking up to the glory of who I am. And if you haven't embodied it yet, all you have to do is reach a little higher, partner a little more closely with the divine, invite it in every moment of your life that you can be aware of it, that you can be conscious of it, and then watch how the law of the circle reforms, transforms, renews, and brings forth all that you have intended in your life. Each one of us has a right to comfortably live our lives and fulfill our purpose, and to be that in God, as God, with God, which are the qualities of the all good. Perfect love, perfect joy, perfect wisdom, perfect peace, and perfect understanding. So I was asked to talk about what's passionate to me. What's passionate to me is that we, all of us, who have fallen into the grace of this teaching, if we decide to practice it on a daily basis, daily we meditate, daily we do spiritual mind treatment, daily we affirm the goodness of the Most High, daily we live in gratitude, and transformation continually happens to us as we're evolving in the upward forward spiral of life and becoming more in tune with the one, in tune with the glory of the I am that I am. And that glory has already been ordained by God. It's already given to us, and we are left free to discover it. So, my friends, I hope some of these ideas, even one idea, can open our heart and open our mind and take us into a new place. So it's been my honor and privilege to share with you in this morning together. My honor and privilege to be part of this dynamic community, which is bringing a greater good and a greater light into the world. And it is my pleasure to be in the one, as the one, and with the one, with you. So I invite you to think on these things as together we explore the possibilities. Namaste. Now we're going to move into a spiritual mind treatment together, and let's just allow that perfect intelligence that is in each one of us. So if you're comfortable, allow your eyes to close. And let's bring our attention to that which is the one life, the one presence. Allowing that life and that presence to move into your heart center, breathing it into your heart center. And knowing that we are already empowered. Each one of us is already empowered to comfortably live our lives and fulfill our purpose. That each one of us can observe and adjust our attitude. And that through adjusting our attitude, we are shaping the destiny of our very experience. Each one that can get good and more good, love and more love, joy and more joy. There's no limit to the good. Everywhere I go, I see this good. I feel this good. It crowds itself against me. I open my heart and it flows through me and multiplies itself around me. It has already been ordained by the Most High that I am the light of the world. And so today, in a new way, I'm waking up to my own awareness. I'm becoming conscious of my own consciousness, and I'm growing. I'm being led into the paths of a higher and greater good, a deeper and more profound love, a health and wholeness deeper and more joyful than I've ever known before, a faith in the universe, that I'm in my right place at my right time, and I'm making a valuable contribution to all that is life. And that through the sum total of our efforts together, we shall bring so much light into the world that we will reveal a world that works for everyone. And for this good happening in us and through us and as us in this day, I am filled with praise and thanksgiving. And so there's nothing else for me to do. Simply to release, to let go, to let God, to allow this word to become my experience. But I say thank you for making it so. And I let it be, as together we declare, and so it is.